Hello and welcome to Defense Diaries. I am your host, Bob Mata, and today is Monday, October 7th, 2024. And we're back, baby. We're back for more Delphi action. Oh, you guys hear Allie? She's down there struggle bussing to get ready to get on live. What's up, Sleuthie? What's up, Ange? What's up, all you beautiful humans out there? I miss you guys so much. I always miss you over the weekends. I did have a glorious weekend with culminating in a fabulous Bears victory with our young quarterback Caleb Williams just dominating look, I have no misconceptions. I'm not going to get into a whole Bears talk here, even though I should. I should really start a side channel where I'm just talking about sports. I would enjoy that just as much as the true crime shit, probably. But, it was a bum slaying yesterday. There's no question. Carolina, it's a bum team, but good teams beat the shit out of bums. And that's exactly what happened. So, I'm not going to apologize for the fact that Caleb Williams looked spectacular. He looked like something that we haven't had in my very long life. And my years of torturous avid bear watching over the past 4 decades with never having a actual legitimate star quarterback. Well, I got news for you. That shit has changed. I'm confident of it. So, I had a great weekend. I did that little early live. I figured just skip Boone altogether. They got kicked. We have a couple days. We can mess around with that. Sounds like that got kicked because of obviously Milton is festering in the Gulf, bearing down on poor Florida. Oh, there she is. And welcome to my beautiful and brilliant co-host. What's up, girl?
Hey.
Hi.
So did you tell everybody why I was late?
No, I didn't tell them. I figured that was your story. Why would I steal your shit, man?
Steal my shit. It's not all that exciting, but my beautiful, sweet, loving, never breaking the law, but not about to take any shit younger sister just called me that she got the most disturbing call from the a sergeant in her local police department that she had missed jury duty. Better get her ass over immediately, or they were going to put a warrant out for her arrest. And she said, "Is this a joke? Are you serious right now? Like, I'm not going anywhere. I've never heard of this. Not a moment before you mentioned it." And he just hung up on her. So I was trying to make a couple calls. I ended up just leaving a couple of angry messages about wanting to know what they're going to do about their sergeant who's harassing the citizens of Chester County, Pennsylvania.
Angry yet measured.
Yes.
Angry, firm. I wouldn't even call it angry. I would call it firm and measured was your response to this officer friendly harassing your lovely younger sister.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll leave that to your mind.
Someone says they don't call about jury duty. I thought it was a scam, but the voicemail comes up like the local police department. I called. The message is of a sheriff. So I'm thinking
does sound like a scam. Like she didn't remember signing. Like here, we just comes in the mail. There's no, you don't get served with your, notice of jury duty. Like that's not a thing here.
Right.
But maybe it is in Pennsylvania. It is a commonwealth. They do like the clerk of court is called the prothonotary, whatever fuck that means. It's like, what? Why can't you just protho? Remember how I used to call it protho notary? I did. I'm like, what is this? Protho notary? Is this?
It was so cute.
It was. And embarrassing, I think, when I did it publicly. I'm like, so is this the protho notary? They're like, what? Yeah, the protho notary. You mean the prothonotary? I'm like, oh, I'm like, what is that? It's that whole Commonwealth thing. It is very, very, very different. So yeah, we'll keep you guys advised of that fascinating story.
Yeah, my sister
The,
gets arrested. Bob said he's gonna do a live.
yeah, but I'm gonna make the hard on cop look like the douchebag, you know. I
Well,
mean,
he is.
yeah, like being a real hard on. Trying to like if you guys ever met Erica, I mean, she's as sweet as pie. You'd be stunned. Like you'd be like, what? Like, how could this nice woman be harassed by this overzealous police officer who like is harassing people about missing jury duty? Which look, we're both lawyers. We understand and we encourage people to fulfill that incredibly important civic duty. However,
I think it
it never rises to the level of harassing citizens because they didn't show up and threatening to arrest them. That's over the line. Over the line.
over the line.
Over the line. There's rules here. There's rules here, Rocky. What was it, Dusty? I can't see. It's been too long since I've oh, thanks, Grin. Feed Bob, feed Allie. Allie did feed me. Grin knows. Grin knows. No doubting that.
Uh,
Oh, good. Kraken, you must have taken Erica's place. Enjoy that. It should be a good trial. We hear it's an exciting one. All right, so let's handle a little of the kind of the front end stuff. As you all know, we were supposed to be starting today with potentially streaming, like Allison when I even brought up that I was gonna stream Vordier, she was like, "What?" Like, no, no one does. I'm like, well, you know, I was with her. Uh, so I was like, well, you know, you're probably right. But so it ended up not having to be a thing, um,
I'll be
because
right back.
I didn't have to do it, like worry about it because they obviously weren't streaming it to begin with. So, and then with Milton bearing down on Florida, you know, just gathering power there in the Gulf and, you know, on a beeline towards Tampa in just an area of the US that can ill afford any more hurricanes. So I'm hoping against all hope that that thing just fizzles out, which does happen quite a bit. I mean, they sometimes seems like a lot of times they lose steam and a lot of times they'll hit as a tropical storm, which is still devastating. But it's not as quite as devastating as a hurricane, but like enough. Yeah, I know, CH, but it looks like it's about 2 days out. So hopefully that let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Certainly not rooting for anything of any kind of substance to really uh hit landfall. So or you know, that would be brutal. God forbid it veers northward. That would be just terrible. Um Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I've been watching hurricanes for a long time. I mean, I'm no weatherman. I know it's Cat 5 guys. A lot of times they're Cat 5s. They lose steam. This it's not supposed to hit landfall until or land until Wednesday. So keep up hope. Don't be, you know, let's think optimistically about it that it'll lose steam as it goes. Unless any of you are meteorologists, and you can tell me that that's an impossibility. I'm gonna think positive thoughts. Like I like our southern states have just been blasted. So, but at any rate, the end result is that they've kicked Boone's trial until next Monday for jury, which of course creates a horrible conflict for me. You know, because jury selection in Richard Allen's case in Delphi, the Delphi case starts Monday too in Allen County. So I don't know, like she's doing something weird. She probably got a call. Probably got the return call from the clerk. She literally was calling right as I was starting the live. So I have a feeling she should have just stayed on the live. I'm sure we would all have loved to hear that conversation. Um, so you know, but she'll tell us. I'm assuming that's where she went, Sleuth. So where'd you go? Where do you keep vanishing to?
Sorry.
Where do you keep going?
Nowhere.
Oh, she fixed her hair. I see.
Oh, could
I
you
see
give me
what's going
B?
on. You looked beautiful before. You looked the exact same amount of
I know
beauty,
I didn't do anything to it.
which is stunning, blindingly beautiful. Okay, so I was just explaining that next week I've been down on bent knee, begging you to sit on the Boone trial while I'm in Delphi so that we can, cover both theoretically. Um,
Yeah, I'll do it
all right, cool. Cool.
as long as it's real close to when
No,
it
for me it
starts.
was bent knee, Mandy, not bended knee. Just a bent knee, like down there, begging, sniveling. So
Was
she's
not all
down.
that.
So
Was
Allie's
not all that.
so she'll do it. She'll do it. So we're not going to cover the one thing that I do want to say is it appears that they had been making, I don't know if you knew this, Allie, they had the prosecution had made a 15-year offer to her, plea
Wow.
offer.
Wow. She
Um
rejected
I
it?
didn't she did reject it. I don't know if it was going to be at 85% for truth in sentencing. I'm assuming that it was, but it sounds like kind of a sweetheart deal. I think the low end, I believe it's the low end she can receive is 22. Trial. Is this woman delusional? Like, does she honestly thinks that somehow she's gonna win this thing? Huh. Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm sure Boone went against advice of counsel. Like I can't imagine that her attorney wasn't like, who's loving the delay, by the way. I just absolutely am positive that uh that attorney was thrilled because he's the new attorney. He had asked for time, and then the judge denied that. Said, "You're going to trial, buddy. You knew what you were signing up for, and you've been arguing here all day. It sounds like you're pretty current on the facts of this case. So get ready, buddy." So I'm sure he was really trying to get, especially in light of the fact that like his concept that he's getting paid over time. I think is what he said. No, something like that. He's pro bono at this point, but he's denying that he was pro bono. Says, "Oh no, I think she's paying me just over time. I have some clients that pay me $25 a month." I'm like, wow, like that. Like, oof,
Oh, Lord.
rough. So let's pivot to Delphi. There's a couple things going on. The first thing I want to handle is last week when we did our Delphi, we went through the motion eliminate, the most recent motion eliminate um, from McCleland, wherein he was seeking to bar the testimony of a William Tobin, who happens to be one of the defense's experts regarding the metallurgy. You remember that, right, babe?
The metallurgical arts.
Yeah. Any of you boys, Smitties, or otherwise trained in the metallurgical arts? That's from anybody? Anybody?
You've
First one.
asked this one too much, too much.
I
They
but
know now.
like
They know now.
I don't know if it's sticking. I don't know if it's sticking. It should stick. It should stick. I mean, I would have thought that
You have to
somebody
see
would
if
have
people
watched it.
watched any of the yeah, watched it by now.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm really getting at. Man. All right, so let's pull it up. So today, uh, Brad Rozzi filed his response. It's a little bit spicy. I liked it. I liked it. So let's go through it. Let's check it out. Let's hear what Brad has to say. All right, let me get rid of this on. I'm always chewing on these ons during lives. It's probably disgusting to look at.
So
So
gross. So gross.
thanks, babe.
Never.
All right. So defendant's response to the state's motion
It's
in
not
limine
gross.
regarding defense witness. So comes now defendant Richard Allen by counsel Brad Rozzi and respectfully requests this court deny the state's motion in limine regarding defense witness file marked September 27, 2024. In support of said request, defendant Allen states as follows: that the state's motion seeks to exclude the testimony of William A. Tobin, Mr. Tobin is a 20. Oh, whoa. I put this on scroll. What's happening right now? See that whole nightmarish page flip thing? That thing gives me serious anxiety, like the page flipping thing. Mr. Tobin is a 27-year veteran of the FBI with 24 years of experience at the FBI laboratory and an expert in forensic metallurgy. 3, Indiana Rules of Evidence 702 provides that an individual may be qualified as an expert and testify to matters so long as it helps the trier of fact to understand the evidence or to determine a fact at issue. Mr. Tobin's experience and testimony will assist the trier in fact in judging the credibility of the processes and protocol used in the discipline of firearms identification for the following reasons. Mr. Tobin has a bachelor's degree in metallurgy, a hard science that is intimately connected with the process of tool mark identification. B, Mr. Tobin has an academic background in statistics, which is also pertinent to the process through which firearm examiners draw their conclusions. C, Mr. Tobin was previously employed with the FBI for 27 years, having worked in the FBI laboratory as an expert in forensic metallurgy for 24 long, glorious years. So forensic metallurgy is an expertise that is part and parcel to the skill of tool mark identification. Mr. Tobin has testified as an expert on more than 200 occasions in courtrooms throughout the United States. Mr. Tobin's work and opinions were recently cited in the case of Abrukwa v. State, which looks like it was a Maryland case, maybe? Or is that Massachusetts? It's got to be Mass. The High Court, Maryland. The High Court in Maryland, I was right the first time, babe, ultimately vacated Abrukwa's convictions and remanded the case for a new trial. The court's decision was driven in part by the defense's assertion that the underlying process of firearms identification is flawed, all of which was supported by Mr. Tobin's testimony. It's pretty convincing so far, babe.
Yeah.
The state's examiner, Melissa Oberg, is nothing more than a lab tech. He gives old Melissa Oberg a little backhanded slap there, right? While she has received training in the discipline of firearms examination, anyone with a high school degree could do the same thing. So this was like
back and forth. Yeah.
The state of Indiana references Dr. Eric Warren, who's an expert in firearms identification. Dr. Warren has been retained by the defense in this case. The state, in its motion in limine, attempts to compare Dr. Warren's expertise with that of Miss Oberg by pointing out that the two of them are both members of the AFTE. The comparisons stop here. Or the comparison stops here. Dr. Warren has a PhD in biological sciences and is a current AFTE board member. The state took Dr. Warren's dep on October 3rd, 2024. During Dr. Warren's deposition, Dr. Warren acknowledged that an academic background in metallurgy, a hard science, would be helpful in understanding the process of firearms identification. Dr. Warren's testified that a background in statistics would be helpful in understanding the process of firearms identification, specifically noting that he anticipates changes and advances in the field, which will be driven by new statistical approaches to summarizing the findings of any particular examination. Dr. Warren testified that the critical community within which Mr. Tobin associates has been helpful in moving the firearms identification forward by pushing for new and better processes. Finally, Dr. Warren testified that there does exist a healthy debate in the industry as to whether or not the findings of firearms examiners should be inadmissible in courtrooms across this country. And in fact, there is a movement toward examiners being less definitive about their conclusions in courtroom settings. Paragraph 4, Mr. Tobin's testimony is relevant, Indiana Rule of Evidence 402, for the following reasons. The President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, PCAST, has been critical for many years of the methodology employed by toolmark examiners across the country. The National Academy of Sciences has issued 2 reports, one in 2008 and one in 2009, that have both been critical in part of the accreditation, certification, and lack of independence of laboratories conducting firearm examinations. Mr. Tobin is intimately familiar with the findings and work of both PCAST and the NAS as it relates to the discipline of firearms identification. The concept of understanding a process which generates any result, whether it be in a laboratory setting or in the course of one's daily activities, is relevant to understanding the meaning of the result or final product created by the employed process. Simply put, Mr. Tobin's testimony tends to prove that the process of examining firearms and drawing conclusions from those examinations is unreliable and misleading, and therefore conclusions offered up by the state examiner should be given little to no weight. Mr. Tobin's opinion on these matters is relevant to the credibility of the state's lab tech who examined evidence in this case. Finally, and you'll remember, if you can remember way, way back to the probable cause affidavit, the way that the lab tech really was very careful, or at least whoever penned the PCA, whether it was McCleland or one of the state troopers with McCleland, to articulate that this was a subjective opinion, and it was their subjective opinion alone. I don't know if you remember me, like, really kind of ad nauseum pointing that language out. Finally, the state cites the case of State of Indiana versus Caden Smith. This is a trial court case out of Marion County, Indiana, which is currently up in appeal. The court's order in Smith provides very little rationale for the court's decision to exclude Mr. Tobin's testimony regarding the firearm examination process, to the extent that the state wants to offer up trial court level authority to defend its claim. Spicy. Defendant Allen would draw the court's attention to the case of the people of the state of Illinois versus Ricky Winfield. A circuit court case out of Cook. Oh, come on, Brad. Brad stuck an E at the end of Cook.
Wait, hold on. Tell Bob this story. So this was a scam. Go ahead, tell.
Oh,
The
shit.
police officer from the Westchester Police Department said that he's gotten dozens of phone calls. They've actually left messages on his voicemail saying they're going to arrest him, but they can't like find him. But that it's a scam. I'm like, what's he trying to get? He has people go places. One woman, he said, one victim went and took money out of the bank account and then never ended up doing it. But he has you go somewhere. Like when he said, you need to report to the courthouse today. When I was like, I'm not going anywhere. That's when he like hung up on and said, then I'm escalating this. He's like, there's so like, but anyway, they were fully aware of it. They've had dozens of complaints. They've called the guy back and said they don't know if he's in this country or not in this country. Now he did tell me to call my like credit people and have them put a watch on it because he has my voice. He did confirm my address and my name.
But you said they gave you your address before you gave it to them.
I didn't give it a voicemail that has his name. They've left the voicemail on his message saying they're going to arrest him.
Wow.
I was not telling you were live, but then Bob just said you aired your address to the whole world.
Wait, say it again.
I wasn't going to tell you that I had you live because I told everybody the story, but then Bob just said that you aired your address to the whole world.
Doxing your sister.
Because we're live right now.
Yeah, we just heard you all on
speakerphone.
Because I had told everybody your story beforehand. So now when you called back with this update that it was a scam, I thought the world wanted to know.
Oh my God. So now the world knows my address?
Forget that address, everyone.
Well, we didn't say what city.
Wait, tell everyone this was a public service announcement.
Public service announcement. Anyone calls from the police department for jury duty stuff, it is a scam and don't fall for it because it sounds like many have.
Okay, and that was my beautiful sister giving all of
Oh
you.
my God.
All right, love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You heard it here first, kids.
But I have to thank Mandy because Mandy sent me the thing. Well, we were already calling. Like I had told her, well, I called and left the message here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you call the actual clerk. And then we were trying to call the police department too. But Bob was like, he gets a whip on me and he's like, you got 1 minute. Get live, girl.
The 1 minute warning.
From docking your pay.
So 1 minute, yeah.
So I had to so I had to abandon my sister, but then Mandy sent me I think, right? Text about it being like a straight up scam. And I was like, and someone else had mentioned it right here. And I was like, nah, I called. It was a voicemail of a real police officer. So yeah.
Oh, that is glorious. That is
Yeah.
good. I mean, nothing was better than your sister getting doxxed on our own live. That was great. Great job, babe. Good job. Good job. No, but that is like, look, it comes in all forms. There is Mandy is comparing. Mandy's still on this whatever her name is, Katie Century, who now has 2 million followers on TikTok, that whole thing was a scam. So, Mandy, are you saying like it's one of two things? Either she made a false report to law enforcement to get them over there to do that, or those were all actors putting up a pop-up, like an easy up?
No, there were a ton of people in the comments who said they live in that area and saw this happening.
I'll tell you, Mandy's very much of the mindset. It's a big, giant scam. She wants her time back. Hold on. I'll check my wallet and I'll see if your time's in there and I'll refund your time. If I can. Allison was giving me shit after that. Like, she's like, no one wanted to hear that.
I was giving him shit before that. I was like, wait, what? I was already so irritated that I got invested just to find out it was nothing. I was like, are you kidding me? You want to share this with the people when the end is like, oh, oops, sorry, it was nothing?
Yes, I found it was a cautionary tale for all the kids out there love to watch TikTok and get sucked into bullshit. All right, so
sorry guys,
I
sorry for the interruption.
I left off with
how important everyone
Brad
takes the
misspelling.
reading of the petitions and whatnot and such.
Yeah, right. And Brad misspelling Cook County. I'm gonna have to write a strongly
Kind of
worded
easy
letter.
one, Cook County.
I mean, he put an E at the end of it.
And why is it in Winfield? Is Winfield? What?
No,
Age?
wait, no, that's the guy's name, babe.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's
Rick
Winfield.
Okay, sorry.
Rick
All right, I'll
Abate.
stop talking now.
Okay, the Winfield decision was handed down on February 8th, 2023. The court, and just so you guys know, like, this is what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because what McCleland is doing here is he's citing, as opposed to an appellate level decision, he's citing trial court level authority to support his claim. Okay, so this decision hasn't even gotten up through the appellate process where they've rendered an opinion yet. So Brad's, which we typically aren't citing, right? That's not what we typically cite appellate court decisions or higher. Rarely. How often do you, babe, cite state court decisions in your pleadings?
Well, never, unless it's like some strange set of circumstances, I guess.
Okay, so Brad's saying, okay, well, if he's going to do it, if we're doing that, then I'm going to do it too. So he goes not only to the trial court level, but he goes out of state over to fabulous Illinois, the glorious state of Illinois, for this circuit court case. And so the Winfield decision was handed down on February 8th, 2023. The court in Winfield was critical of the discipline of firearms identification altogether. Now, remember, we use Daubert here. And again, if you guys, you hear us talking about Daubert quite a bit in terms of Daubert hearings, where you're testing certain evidence that's being sought to be introduced by one of the parties as to whether or not it's got any value to the jury scientifically. The court ultimately drew the conclusion that the state was entirely prohibited from introducing any testimony from their alleged experts regarding firearms identification specific to the case. Judge Hook's rationale was articulated over a 41-page opinion. Hell yeah. Go Judge Hooks. Got a Cook County judge, man, feeling his oats right there.
Yeah.
You know what? Or more likely his clerk who just got
Right. I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
it's like, it's like a young Allison fresh out of law school. She's been calling bullshit on tool markings for years. She's like, oh, I've been waiting for this case. I can't wait to write this judge's opinion here. Oh yeah, I got you, Judge. I got you. I'll be back on Monday with 78 pages of fire, sucker. All right. So the Smith case offered up by the state contains no such analysis. So not only was it trial court level, it also gave no analysis to why the decision was made. Whereas his state court level thing gives 41 pages of glorious intel.
in Illinois.
All right. So it is for these reasons that the court should deny the state's motion in limine regarding Mr. Tobin's testimony. Thoughts, Allie? Thoughts?
So R&M says that he cited this case to be a
right.
ass because it's it's one of Andy's and Hennison's cases.
Brad, well, I don't know if he was doing it to be an ass because it's one of Hennessy and Baldwin's cases, but I'm sure that Andy made him well aware because, like, you're not going to find this case on Lexis or Westlaw. It's not going to be published because it's a trial court opinion unless it's gone up to appeal. So it's like there would have been no way for Brad to find it other than firsthand knowledge or secondhand knowledge from hey, like Andy's like, well, we got an expert.
Oh, they handled a case in Illinois?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I think he's talking about the state cited the case where the guy was excluded.
Oh, that was
that's what I was assuming, but I don't know.
Hayden Smith's case was Andy's case. That makes way more sense.
Right, that's what I'm
Brad
assuming.
and Andy. So R&M is saying that McCleland cited that case just as an FU to Andy.
Right.
Okay. Like, the last time they tried to use a clown like this, the court.
Right.
All right. All right. So what do you think, babe? Give us your brilliant legal analysis of this situation. What is Gull gonna do?
I mean, there's no determining what Gull's gonna do. I'd say denied or
Really?
granted for the state.
Wow.
I told you what I think she should do. Like worst case scenario, she shouldn't make a decision until after, there's testimony, like after this guy testifies and before they put on Tobin, and then to have a hearing. But I think that it should be allowed.
But every time I hear the name Tobin, I think of that skit with Matt Damon on Saturday Night Live where the Supreme Court justice, who was the last guy, Kavanaugh, was getting appointed and he was going through his whole congressional hearing, and Matt Damon was him, and he was talking about his
the rapist on our Supreme Court.
he was talking about his friends Squee and Tobin. It's one of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits in the last 20 years. It's so funny.
I mean, why not just stockpile the Supreme Court with rapists?
Yeah, the royal we knows. The royal we knows. Yeah. All right. Listen. Like,
allegedly,
I think this warrants an actual hearing. She has to have an actual hearing. That's what needs to happen.
But she denied it before when the state raised it without a hearing. And we said that before. Like, that's not a thing she can deny without a hearing. There needs to be an expert testimony from an expert.
I know. And here's what I'm fearing here. I've said it a few times. And my concern is, and I think that you voiced the same concern to me, is that these confessions, whatever they may be, I mean, if they turn out to all be just a bunch of rambling, incoherent, half-ass, I killed the girl, where it's just clearly this guy's been bullied, manipulated, tortured into just saying shit, and you can hear it. Short of that, if these are the type of confessions where people are going to be like torn, which I'm sure people will be, I'm sure there's going to be a huge amount of debate that only the people in the courtroom can really be able to debate about, because you can't hear what they sound like because you're not going to hear it because she's not broadcasting the trial. So tone, tenor, that's a very important part of the analysis in terms of determining whether this guy is like giving like truthful confessions voluntarily, or he's been battered, beaten, psychologically tortured to the point where he's just spitting shit out to spit shit out to get these guys away from him. You know, I mean, it's like, but the fear is that the mere number of what the state is calling 61 confessions is going to set the trial court or the appellate court on the path, if there's a conviction in this case,
Harmless error.
on the harmless error path, because they're going to say, look, yeah,
Ah,
she screwed up that.
but
Should
he
have allowed
confessed
third
61 times.
right. I mean, it's a legitimate fear, which
Yeah.
is why I'm relieved to see that Brad is fighting on the things that I think are highly relevant
Mhm.
at this point.
And we'll see if
And
I'm still even a lawyer by the time we get to that point. Now, having disparaged the Supreme Court justice publicly, I'm not even allowed as an officer of the court to talk poorly about a judge. So we'll see. We'll
is
see.
that true? Is that
Yeah,
true?
that's true.
Really? Dang.
Well, if they know which Supreme Court judge I was talking about, then I guess that answers that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you're in deep shit. So, it's all right. I've been trying to get you out of the practice for a while
Yeah,
now.
giving
Time to move
myself
on.
excuses left and right.
It's time to move
She's
on.
gone. That's it.
It's
What'd
time
you
to
call him? What? Out.
all right. So there's that. Yet to be determined. Time is short as this thing is starting next Monday. Next Monday with, hey, come and give me a hug. Hi.
There she is. The
Mm.
beautiful,
How
the
was school?
strong, the brave, the funny
One of your long hair.
Scarlet Mata.
How was school?
Okay.
I love you. Give me kisses. Go get a
The
snack.
sweet, the
All right,
lovable.
we are well aware of the party tomorrow, so we'll make sure that you make it over there. You know,
Party.
yeah, you have your.
Just delete this entire life.
I don't care.
Dox
If you
my
guys don't like it,
sister.
go somewhere else.
Disparaged a Supreme Court
Wait,
justice.
what party?
Dox your sister.
Right.
Private party? What party?
Your volleyball.
Some kind of volleyball thing.
Postseason party at the high school. 5 o'clock sounds like a real rager. Lots of pizza, lots of Hawaiian pizzas. Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, no boys. Why would there be boys at your volleyball final part? All
I
right,
get it.
go get a snack and give me a kiss on my cheek right here. What? That wasn't a real kiss. Oh, wow. I love you. All right. All right, come on. We got a lot of people in live. Not time to be too goofy. Go. I can't even hear what you're here. I'm going to mute you.
Hammy said, "You boy."
Gross. Okay, so now we're going to move back to the whole click thing.
Dad.
Yeah.
Can I get a new phone soon?
Maybe we'll
I had
see.
the same one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about taking your phone away entirely. I think we should go back to basics. So
What?
yeah,
Better run.
back,
Better run and hide.
back to back to basics.
Dude.
Back to basics,
Okay,
sis.
dude.
It's time for basics. We're going back to basics. All right. So the next thing I want to check out, if I can find out where the hell it is, Todd Click's arrest. Now, I didn't really hear much from you about that. Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I have thoughts, but I thought we were going to do a little more. Have you done a little more investigating? Have we figured out some more stuff? I thought we were going to.
I mean, like, what do you think's going to get figured out? Do you think that we're gonna hear from No, don't want her there. Do you think we're gonna like get all the law enforcement guys over in Indiana to admit that they're squeezing Click so that he wouldn't testify?
No, I wanted some more. I wanted us to get some more details about what precipitated the arrest and how the thing came about.
Well, that's why we're gonna read the affidavit.
Oh, you got the affidavit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thought we were gonna do a separate live for that.
This is the separate live for
What's
it.
it called? What's this
It's-
live called?
It's called Delphi Unhinged.
Okay.
It's a
what-
straight Delphi
straight
live.
Delphi live.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Unhinged, hinged. Sorry.
Exactly. What drama? The way that you built the drama with that was super impressive.
I'm practicing
so-
for Sarah Boone.
All right. So this is the affidavit. So if you guys are not aware, Todd Click, who is one of the 3 law enforcement officers of the law firm of Click Murphy and Ferenczi that
All right,
were
CH.
continuing
That's what we're talking
to investigate the Odin angle. Okay. And this investigation, as we all came to know, continued on for 2 years until Ferenczi was shot, gunned down in front of a federal building and killed. And at that point, they stopped that investigation. So turns out
Is
that
this sarcasm? I'm wondering if this is sarcasm.
I personally feel more confident in the state's case since the arrest of Click. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't get in Brian. Yes. I feel like
Yes,
I got it right
he's
that time. I don't know. I can't get into brain. Like, I don't know how that helps you feel any better about the state's case. It makes me feel less confident. It makes me feel like they're taking like any approach they can to get a conviction. Oh, thank God. She
We both
clarified.
clicked on it at the same time, so it disappeared.
No, when you clicked on it, I saw it. It's like, oh my God. Okay. It's like,
I
no.
could tell from her earlier.
I mean, she's a OG. She's in here all the time, you know. Like, and this isn't a echo chamber. I don't give a shit. Like, I
Right.
get people in here all the time, like, have the opposite view. I could care less what their view is. They're entitled to it.
Yes,
You know,
very much so.
100%. All right, so let's go through the probable cause affidavit. Michael Lepper, unfortunate name, a law enforcement officer with the Indiana Office of Inspector General, being duly sworn, swears and affirms under penalty for perjury that the following statements are true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. Oh, I got off track. So at any rate, this stuff all comes down around, they start investigating him shortly after the Frank smell. I mean, just look at the timeline. Look at the timeline of how things have gone down. Frank's drops in mid-September. Obviously, Click is the main character in that story. Obviously, at this point, it appears to me that people are not happy with Click being the main character of that story. And people that are interested in the conviction of Richard Allen said, hey, why don't you take a peek at Click? Let's see what we can dig up on this guy. Because at that point, they don't know whether or not Click's going to be able to testify. Now, I mean, notwithstanding all of that, the reality is that once Gull ruled that third-party culprit and everything that has to do with it is out, Click wasn't going to testify anyway. So, but to back up, so this investigation must have started because they basically bring the charges on December 23rd, Merry Christmas, Click, of 2023. I think it was December 2012, 23, I want to say, of 2023. But yet they don't arrest him until last Friday, right before a week and some change before trial. Anything to make the defense look like shitbirds. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple concept. I mean, we've lived it. We've been on this end of the stick before, Allison and I, in our careers, where, it's like it gets out there, all the news agencies are reporting on it, all the YouTubes are talking about it, all the Torch and Pitchfork crew is talking about it, and it's like it makes Rozzi and Baldwin look like shitbirds in the eyes of the people that believe that Allen's guilty prior to hearing the evidence. You know, like, oh, look, they're using a cop who's a fraud. It's a felon. You know, it's like, it's appearances are everything leading up into a trial. And if you don't think that negative media attention affects a potential jury pool, I got news for you. You'd be wrong, because it does. All right. So I am a law enforcement officer with the OIG pursuant to Indiana Code 35315-2-185. Hey, what's up, Lana? The OIG is a law enforcement agency created by the Indiana General Assembly through Indiana Code 4-2-7-2. I have been a special agent with the OIG since April 23rd, 2018, in connection with my official duties. I am involved in criminal investigations involving state employees within the executive branch of the Indiana government. I have received training relating to the enforcement of Indiana laws, including the following: Indiana State Police 42nd Recruit Academy in July through November of 1984. I have satisfied the minimum basic training requirements established by rules adopted by the Law Enforcement Training Board under Indiana Code 5-2-1-9 and described in Indiana Code 35-37-4-5. I was previously employed as a law enforcement officer with ISP for 32 years, 84 to 2016. I have served as a detective and investigated many kinds of crimes, including theft, forgery, and fraud. The previously listed crimes are like the current investigation. Ooh. So, I mean, longtime state trooper. We know that the Indiana State Troopers are at the forefront of the Richard Allen investigation, of the Delphi investigation in general. So, you do the math. I don't have to spell that out for you. Let's take a call. Let's take a call from Holman to this cat, Leper, and says, hey, I got one for you. So on April 11th, 2024, the OIG received a complaint from the Indiana Department of Child Services alleging that a former DCS employee, Todd Click, submitted official reports in his role as a family case manager to the DCS case management system, quote, the management gateway for Indiana kids. According to DCS, these reports contain false information of family visits and DCS documents with forged signatures of parents/caregivers. I was assigned to investigate this case.
So April 11th, 2024 is when this all comes to a head the first time, because I had to run up and help our frail daughter, who apparently can't cream cheese a bagel without her mother's help.
Oh, well, look, no one spreads cream cheese like you, babe. Just remember that. All right, so this is interesting to me.
The OIG. So this is what, the Illinois Attorney General, or what's the OIG?
So what?
Illinois Indiana Attorney General, or what is the OIG?
Let's see. I've been a special agent with the OIG since April 23rd, 2018. So that is the Indiana Office of Inspector General.
Oh, Inspector General.
Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting to me, though, that he's claiming on April 11th, 2024, that he receives a complaint from the Indiana Department of Child Services alleging that former DCS employee Todd Click submitted false reports. But how do we see this 12/23 date?
Well, maybe that's when he actually did it.
Wait, what do you
understand?
mean? You're saying that, but no, like we saw something on the docket.
Maybe they just entered that date as the occurrence date, but it's not the date that they actually entered it. I was thinking about that the other day.
Investigate?
Like, it's not the date that they started to investigate, but it's the date. It's the date of the event, the occurrence, the date that he sent the signed off on something incorrectly. I was thinking about that after I said it when we had the last live, that maybe it's not a physical date that they actually inputted something during the onto the docket, but a just a date that they entered.
Mm.
Well, maybe we'll get some more clarification as you read on. Let me say
I
who
will.
called
Hold on.
the
I just got a text from somebody that was interesting.
Oh, they left his date of birth right in there. Ooh, not supposed to do that.
No. Okay. So Click was employed by the DCS as a FCM assigned to the Ripley County office from July 9th, 2023 through March 2nd of 2024 when he resigned. Click's role was an assessment worker. DCS policy describes the term assessment as, quote, an assessment of alleged child abuse and or neglect, is a comprehensive process and is completed to ensure the safety and well-being of a child alleged to be a victim of CAA/N, child abuse and or neglect. These initial investigations occur immediately following a report of alleged abuse or neglect that is received by the DCS hotline. During my investigation, I found evidence that Click falsified at least 10 magic entries
What?
and forged signatures of parent caregivers on at least
What?
7 DCS forms
I mean,
required during the assessment.
that in and of itself is fucking bullshit. I mean, we depend on these departments to
That's
protect
awful.
kids, and they're already not protecting kids.
It's awful. I mean, if anybody knows anything about me, I've told everybody about my time as a social worker. I told them
Doesn't
about
mean
my
I don't think one has any correlation to that he's lying or doing some you know what I mean, in this case.
yeah, but it's like it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
a good look.
not a good look.
It's
Yeah.
not a good look
No.
at all. I mean, okay, so I believe that Click knowingly or intentionally falsified child abuse or neglect information records, committing the crime of obstructing a child abuse investigation in Indiana, a Class A misdemeanor occurring in Ripley County, Indiana, based on the following facts.
Mm.
So then he gives,
There's your 1224.
yeah. So MB family on 12/24 of 2023, 11 a.m.
See, that's
Click,
how it all started. This guy's like, "They're trying to make me go out on Christmas Eve and investigate some shit?" I don't know. So he's like,
Click
"I'm just gonna
reported.
say I went out there and no one was home."
So Click reported in Magic that he made a visit to the MB's home in Batesville, but did not find anyone home. Click said that he called MB on the telephone and was told by MB that she was on the way to Ohio for a family Christmas. MB said after the domestic violence event on 12/23 of 2023, she went to her mother's home in Milan, Indiana, until February of 2024. MB said she has no family in Ohio and the call never happened. Wow. On 12/24 of 2023 at 5 p.m., Click reported in Magic he made a video FaceTime call with MB and saw her children, IS age 2 and HS age 2 months, and that they appeared healthy. MB said that that call never happened. On 12/28 of 2023 at 3:15 p.m., Click reported in Magic that he met face to face with MB and her children at her Batesville home. Click reported the children looked healthy. MB said that visit never happened. On 1/31 of 2024 at 9:30 a.m., Click reported in Magic that he met face to face with MD and her children at her Batesville home. MB said that that meeting never happened. On 2/15/2024 at 3:15 p.m., Click reported in Magic that he met face to face with MB and her children in her Batesville home. MB said that this is the only time that she had seen Click. Click reported discussing a safety plan, one of the DCS required forms with MB. MB said that she just stood inside the door, that he just stood inside the door for 5 minutes and never discussed the safety plan.
Oh, yeah. He just showed up, stood inside the door 5 minutes and turned around and left. Something's not right with that. I'm sorry. It's one thing to say he's falsely reporting going places because he's being lazy, so he's not actually going out, and he's just pretending that he went out and just pretending to make phone calls. But why in the hell would he actually go out and then just stand in the doorway for 5 minutes, not discuss any safety plan, and walk away? I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. He says,
Well,
"Okay."
no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little preoccupied with something.
Oh.
It's that thing that we've been waiting to kind of dump out to the world.
Yeah, and I saw somebody made a comment about it on the side over here, and I was like, "What in the hell?" That wasn't supposed to happen, where it was already being talked about.
Well,
Um,
yeah, they got in front of it because, well, whatever, we'll talk about
Whatever.
it.
Annoying. That's what we get for being diligent and
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah. Okay, so AB family. So this is a separate family. Oh, the one thing I was gonna say is like, so I mean, typically, when you have like people are not calling DCS on themselves. It's either been that there's been a mandatory reporter.
Mandy's like, "What are you guys talking about? My phone's dead, so I can't even tell her." She's like, wait a minute. What the hell are they talking about?" They go, "What? What are they waiting to do? For who? Huh? How? When?"
Right.
As is everyone else
So,
at this point.
but what I'm saying here is that, like, with respect to, um, like, people calling either DCS or DCFS, which it is here, or CPS, it's all the same thing. It's all the agencies that are trying to protect the welfare of children around this country. They have different names in every state and every county, but typically it's not people self-reporting, right? Typically it's either a mandatory reporter, whether it be a doctor or a teacher, anybody that has to mandatory report if they sense something's going wrong with the child or a
And I thought
child.
it was a little bit weird, babe, that why are you gonna make up an Ohio trip if you're making it up? Why wouldn't you just say on the way to visit family? But, obviously I've got no way to know if any of this is true or not true. I don't see it outside the realm of possibilities that, police officers and people in the DCFS, world don't do what they're supposed to do and pretend that they have done what they're supposed to because it happens all the time. It's just a little strange, like, oh, they're on their way to Ohio. Like, why would you make something up like that that's so easy when then they say, "Oh, we've got" I don't even have any family in Ohio whatsoever. Sorry.
uh yeah, so what I was saying was that people don't self-report, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out the contradiction in my mind
Mhm.
as to, so meaning that somebody has reported this family, whether it's legitimate, whether it's illegitimate. We know that there's people out there that, to be spiteful and shitty spouses, battling spouses, do it to one another all the time. People that have enemies, they'll call in and make false report. So, but whatever the case may be, and we know none of those facts, somebody reported them in to Child Protective Services, or whatever they call it here. What do they call it? DCS. And so this home theoretically is the one being investigated. It seems strange to me that when the reports are essentially positive as far as what the agency is saying about the kids' well-being, that this person would be turning around saying, no, they never did that. Do you find that a little strange, or am I missing something here? Do you understand
Oh,
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I do. That
people
you're saying
report.
that MB didn't report on him or herself, so why would MB be complaining that the officer didn't do his job when what he has reported was that the family is good and the kids are good?
Correct. That seems strange to me. So, I mean, no one wants
But we
DCF.
don't know yet. I mean, we obviously we
I
don't
don't
know
know
yet.
shit.
Right.
I'm
So
postulating theorems that it seems bizarre to me, because most people are trying to get these people
so
out of
cute.
their lives, whether they're abusers or not. I mean, like, no one wants these people messing with your family, especially if you've done nothing wrong. Like you don't want them creeping around in your life, and the fear of losing your children to some amorphous agency based on somebody making a phone call is a pretty terrifying prospect, right? So, like, just there's something weird about it. I'm certainly not saying that it's not valid, but that's why they have trials, right? That's why there's going to be evidence. Obviously, this woman's going to have to get on the stand and testify, or this father, whoever it is. All right, so let's check out the second one. So, AB family on 1/22/24 at 3 p.m. Click reported in Magic that he made a face-to-face visit with AB, his wife, and their child RB at their Holton home. AB said that this visit never happened. Earlier in the day, RB reported to her school that she had been fondled by a family member on 1/21/24. The school advised that AB family that they reported the incident in 11:51 to the hotline and to go home, and the DCS would be out to their home. At 8:24 p.m., AB made a secondary report to the hotline as no one from DCS ever came to their home.
So that right there is a strong indication that Click was falsifying reports.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get any more blatant like that. Somebody's pissed off come 8:30 at night. Like, my child has made this, this claim, we've
Report.
reported this event, and no one's
Right.
taking it seriously.
Well, yeah, and this is one where there's not a report of an outs or somebody within the home or the parents neglecting the kids. This is a kid who's making an outcry that they've been abused out from somebody outside the home, and they've called. Yeah, so this
When
is a
you look at this
completely
again, right, this is a
different
different
scenario.
situation, right? But when you look at this again, it's weird because it says AB said the visit never happened. Earlier in the day, RB reported to her school she had been fondled by a family friend. On 1/21/24. I can't tell if she's saying she was fondled by a friend earlier in the day. Okay, so yeah, 1/22/2024. She said the day before. I take it back. So yeah, I mean at 8 p.m. at night, the Click says he was there at 3:30. The family's calling back, reporting no one showed up. No one came to this house. No one's done anything about this.
Wow. So yeah, not a good look. At 8:24 p.m., AB made a second report to the hotline as no one from DCS ever came to their home. Next family. So MW family on 12/22/23 at 4:30, Click reported in Magic that he had a face-to-face visit with CW, guardian of children. MW, mother of children, SF, age 11, and LF, age 8, at their Osgood home. CW and MW both said the visit never happened. CW said that she never met Click. MB said Click never talked to her children. On 1/29/24 at 3:40, Click reported in Magic a face-to-face visit with CW, SF, and LF at their Osgood home. CW, once again, said the visit never happened. She never met him. Click reported to talking to the children, reported the mother had moved out of the house. That was also untrue.
Wow.
Yep. Not good. Not good for Click.
No, definitely not.
On 12/21/23 at 4:30, Click reported in Magic that he did a face-to-face visit with the TH grandfather, TS mother, and KS, age 14, Core S, age 10, and Cole S, age 17, and CAS, age 12, at their Batesville home. Both TH and TS said that never happened. TS says Click has never been to her home. The EL family on 2/13/24, 4:05 p.m., Click reported in Magic a face-to-face visit with JB at his home. JB said Click had never been to his home, and he has never met with him. JB said they did talk over the telephone once around that time. When Click called JB, he pulled over into the farm and garden in Versailles to speak, or Versailles. I think in Indiana they pronounce it Versailles. DCS requires this interview to be conducted in person. So he said, I believe Click knowingly and intentionally created written instruments purporting to be signed by parents or caregivers, all without authority to do so, in violation of Indiana Code 35-43-5-2, forgery, a level 6 felony occurring in Ripley County, Indiana, based on the following facts. Click submitted a DCS, a trial membership form required by DCS and reportedly signed by MB on 12/28/2023. This date corresponds to a date in which Click reported a visit with MB at her Batesville home. MB said that the visit never happened and that she never signed any form for Click. I showed her the form and she confidently said, "That is not my signature." This form is required by federal regulation under the Indiana or Indian Child Welfare Act. I'm not sure which one it's supposed to be. Click submitted to DCS a safety plan form required by DCS and reportedly signed by MB on 2/15/2024. This date corresponds to a visit at MB's Batesville home that did occur. However, MB said that the meeting lasted only 5 minutes and she never signed or discussed any forms. I showed her the form and she said confidently, "No, that's not my signature." This form is required to develop an agreed action by the parent, guardian, custodian that will allow the child to be safe in their home. This is to help, quote, determine if an agreed upon action will allow the child to stay in their home or if detention removal is needed. All right, AB family. Yeah, this is like, I mean, this guy's shot the shit.
Yeah.
I mean, so the question becomes, like, let's assume, arguendo's sake, that
It's all true.
I'm going to assume that it is true. Like,
Yeah.
this sounds like
Seems true.
Yeah, it seems super true to me, and super shitty. Like, if one child would have been injured or worse as a result of him pretending like he was going out there, whoo-wee, that's a problem on a massive scale. But let's assume, arguendo, that Gull had not flame thrown the whole third party culprit defense. And I remember, and now it makes sense because McCleland was asking for these records. There was a motion that had been filed in the 3 days of hearings, and McCleland, none of us knew what it was pertaining to, but McCleland was trying to get these records about this incident back then. I think it was during the 3 days. It's all kind of a blur now, but McCleland was seeking, like, McCleland had knowledge about it. I mean, I'm not sure that I believe that he wasn't made privy to him right away. Like, that sounds like bullshit, but in terms of it being able to be used by him legally, where he didn't procure DCS records improperly, because you know how they are. I mean, they typically, when we ask for them in cases involving children, they're sent to the judge directly,
Yeah.
Like, if we subpoena CPS records, but this is an investigation by the what was it? The OIG?
Yeah, Inspector General. Let's get
Yeah.
through this thing so you and I can powwow about that other thing and decide what we're going to do because I'm getting irritated.
Did you read it?
No, I've read part of it. I don't want to keep reading it until we're off and we can discuss how.
That's why I was getting like, that's why I was looking at it. I'm like, I was trying not to read it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So AB family, Click submitted to DCS a consent to interview children. Wait, but I wanted to ask you the arguendo question. Like, I don't think that McCleland would be able to, even if they had been able to put Click on the stand, he's not a defendant. He's a witness.
But any witness's crime involving dishonesty is fair game.
You think?
I know.
All right.
What I don't know about, I have to double check charges versus conviction, though. There might be
right. That's what I'm saying. I think that it's got to be a conviction. I don't think that allegations.
I don't know. Right.
It's like, I mean, 404 is going to pertain to the defendant, really.
No, but right. You mean as far as other bad acts? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Right.
might be limited.
I think it would be limited. It's not that big of a deal. It's like relax. It's like, why are you sweating it? It's just more sleaze. Never seen two people more desperate to make themselves relevant in a case than those two people. It's bizarre. All right. So Click submitted to DCS a consent to interview the children. form required by DCS and reportedly signed by AB on 1/25/24. This date is the same day of a forensic interview conducted with RB, age 9, at the Child Advocacy Center of Southeast Indiana in Greensburg. AB said that it was the first and only time that he ever saw Click, but he did not sign any forms. I showed AB the form and he said confidently, no, that is not my signature on that. According to an email from DCS Local Officer Director LOD, Michelle Smith, per statute and policy, interviewing a subject child is pertinent in completing a thorough assessment. Consent to interview a child can be obtained in one of three ways: obtaining a court order under exigent circumstances, or with parental consent through signing this form. Verbal consent is the last resort. Click submitted to DCS a tribal membership form required by DCS and reportedly signed by, and this is for the TW family, signed by CW, the guardian, on
I'm just going to answer this and then we'll move on. No is the answer to that. We were going to release a hit piece. So that's all that. It's going to
No,
be in reverse.
yeah, we were going to do a hit
Fine.
piece on them. This date corresponds with the home visit at 4:30 p.m. Click reported on Magic, but both CW and MW said the visit never happened. CW said that she had never met Click and never signed any form for him. CW was shown the document and said confidently when asked if it was her signature, no, it's not. Click submitted to DCS a consent to interview children form required by DCS and reportedly signed by CW, the guardian, on 12/22/23. This date corresponds with the home visit at 4:30 p.m. Click reported in Magic, but both CW and MW say that the visit never happened. CW said that she had never met Click and never signed any form for him. CW was shown the document and confidently said, that's not my writing. So TS family, Click submitted to DCS a consent to interview the children form required by DCS, signed by TS on 12/21/23. State corresponds with the date Click reported in Magic a home visit in Batesville. So TS said the visit never happened, that she never signed any forms for Click and has never met the man, and he's never been to her home.
Jeez.
She may have turned to him. She may have talked to him on the phone. When I showed her the form, she confidently said, that's not my signature. So Click submitted to DCS a tribal membership form required by DCS and reportedly signed by TS on 12/21/23. This date corresponds with the date that Click reported in Magic a home visit in Batesville. TS said that the visit never happened and that she never signed any forms for Click and had never met him. And he's never been to her home. So she may have talked to him on the phone, but when I showed her the form and asked her if that was her signature, she confidently said no. So all 7 of these forged documents were uploaded into Magic System by Click or by a clerical employee, having received them from Click. So as a public servant employed as FCM with DCS, I believe that Click knowingly or intentionally committed the offense or official misconduct by committing the above offenses in performances of official duties in violation of Indiana Code 35-4.1-1-1-1, parenthetical 1. Official misconduct, a level 6 felony in Ripley County, Indiana, based on the above facts. So while I have no information that his complete disregard for DCS policy and children's safety caused any actual harm, these crimes put at least 5 Ripley County families and 11 children in danger because he failed to perform his duties as he was trained, which is absolutely true. If these are true, super shitty. Super shitty. So this is the order that they found probable cause. That was signed 26 September. All right, so that's what we got on Todd Click so far. I mean, at this point, like, if this shit dropped, like, so I was giving you the hypo, like, had Gull not flamethrown the whole third-party culprit thing, like, I mean, I don't think they could have put him on unless you crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's and made sure that there was no way that McCleland's going to be able to challenge his truthfulness on the stand by bringing this shit up.
And well, that's why I need to look at Indiana log, because in Illinois, arrest, indictments, or charges are not admissible to impeach a witness. Only a conviction may be used. So, and I'm assuming that there are some loopholes to that. I mean, you did see it um in the Karen Reed case. These officers weren't charged with this stuff.
Yeah.
But the one was dealing specifically with this event, like this investigation. So,
Yeah,
uh,
and look, I mean, here's the reality of the situation. Had that hypothetical situation happened, even if McCleland cannot full blown just like destroy him on the stand, bringing this shit up, which would completely destroy his credibility in the eyes of the jury. Like, there's no question about it.
right.
The fact of the matter is it makes it out to the public beforehand via the media, and which, once again, is another move to make the defense look like shitbirds. Like, oh, yeah, here's your cop for you. Here's your officer Click. Yeah, sounds like a real great cop. It's like, does one have to do with anything to do with the other? No, but like I've said a million times, perception is everything. I mean, it just is. And I think the benefit for Indiana right now, and I'm talking about the state, the people of, versus the other side of the V, as far as the Richard Allen case, is that it once again it casts shade on the defense. This is the guy that Andy, decided to, and like, of course, Andy didn't know about this shit. I'm assuming, I'm sure Click didn't say, oh yeah, by the way, you might want to be aware, but Click may not have known that they were investigating him at all. This could have been surprise.
Right. So unless they get him convicted real quick, I don't think they're going to be able to use it. So, I mean, but Bob and I's point before was just like the timing of the arrest and the fact that the crimes involve dishonesty, it pollutes the public, and
Yes.
raises the question of, are they trying to influence the jury pool?
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. But again, it sniffs like it's a strange term to use, but it smells to me a lot like the dog sniff
In
thing.
spirit? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Are you stealing my line, sis? Which I stole from Nirvana. Look, like I say, like these kind of things that come out into the press in the days leading up to trial, can they have an impact on it? Absolutely. I have no idea. I should check and see how many news agencies in Allen County reported on this. What is the
Probably a
Allen
lot.
County paper? What is the
Probably a lot.
Allen County paper called? I mean, why would they? I mean, it belies the fact that if it's getting reported on beyond the world of Ripley County, that it's obvious that the story has a greater significance than just some cop who was fudging forms, or some former cop that was fudging forms. If it becomes statewide news or national news, that tells you what the significance of it is in terms of the case. So people that are saying, oh, it doesn't matter, it's nothing to do with Richard Allen's case. Well, it has everything to do with it in terms of the perception of the defense team, the perception of, the witnesses that they were choosing to put their faith in terms of their investigation into Richard Allen. I mean, you can see a very easy route for the state to be able to say, oh, well, here you go. Here's your guys that were telling you that these were Odinist that did it. It's an easy way to discredit them. And Click made it really easy for them by doing some super, like, look, it's alleged, but like, if they weren't going directly to these people and they're saying that I didn't sign that shit, if it's all the yawning,
I don't know. Sorry.
I'm curious. Are you up to no good? I know what makes you yawn all the time.
Don't fuck around.
So
Jeez.
I don't know. Like, you're not
Wow.
giving me much impact on this. Like, I want something back from you.
I was looking to see if there's a loophole, sorry, around the non-conviction, because like when I think about it in Illinois, with them allowing all the evidence about police being accused of, you know, forcing witnesses to confess and things of that nature, those cases don't involve charges. So I was just trying to see if there was another loophole that I could find that would allow this, charges without a conviction to be admissible. So other than that, turning back to the actual where the hell is my StreamYard link thingamajiggy? Maybe it's in a separate window. Uh hmm, I can't find you.
I mean, we don't know that, Ange. Like
Oh,
I don't
here.
know. I don't. I
Gotcha.
don't know
Found you.
Todd Click. I don't know Todd Click. You know what I mean? I don't.
Right. I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. She's saying there's no way. Maybe she knows him.
I
But it
I don't
sounds like
know.
a lot of people are saying very similar things. So we can't
Right.
just
And my point is, whether he did or he didn't, in terms of this case, is not relevant. It serves the purpose it's meant to serve
by putting out there in the public that he's
by
being
the
accused
fact
of
that we're
official
talking
misconduct.
about it at all, because it makes the defense look shitty. It just casts them in a shitty light. That's the purpose of it. That's the point of what I'm trying to say here. And I realize this is from 17 minutes ago, but I mean, this is like the kind of shit that gets done in cases like this, where they're going to do everything in their power. They're going to pull it out every trick in their trick bag in order to try to put things in their favor as much as they possibly can heading into trial and picking 12 people plus alternates.
But
So
we don't know. All we're saying is we're not gonna just
wait, we don't know what.
whether he did or didn't do it,
I don't fucking know, and I don't care. That's what you're missing my point.
I get
I'm
your point.
saying
Your
I
point
don't
is
give a
it
shit
muddies
if he
him
did
up
or he didn't
no
do it.
matter what.
Perception is everything. It's out there.
Right.
It's in the news
Right.
cycle, and like no one gives it. Like the Torch and Pitchfork crew don't give a shit about presumption of innocence. They all think that this guy was fudging, CPS records and not doing visits, and the kids could have been in danger, and they might have been. I
Right,
mean,
we
if
don't
it's
know.
true, it's shitty. If it's not, then that's a whole different ball of wax. But either way, in
If
terms of
it's
how
not,
it's
that is just
affecting,
a whole new level of I mean, it's on par with some of the stuff we've seen, and we have seen a lot of retaliation. I think Odd Structure says it here. It's retaliation, intimidation of anyone who speaks out against the state's narrative. I mean, we've seen a lot of that. Bob and I have heard even things we haven't spoken about. A lot of that, Um,
there's no question.
but all we're saying is it's possible that he did those things, but the timing of
I
when
don't
this
have to
is all
apologize for shit. I've said very clearly, I had not read this coming. This is first blush for me.
right.
So what I'll tell you is that
It's alarming, disconcerting.
that reading it and whether or not he did it or didn't do it doesn't change any of the things that I said about this initially, about that. I understand what the state trooper's saying in terms of that this was triggered by something in the system. I don't buy that. I think it was triggered by somebody in the Indiana State Police that once the Franks memo dropped, they said, dig around on this guy. And then they found this. I think that they were trying to discredit anybody that was attached to Franks like immediately. I mean, you have to understand like how nerve-wracking that Franks memo would have been to everybody that's working so hard to convict Rick Allen.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm very like, do I have any proof of it? No, I don't.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't start the motion. I mean, the PCA doesn't start with such and such family member called in and complained that this guy's never been out to see them. Although we did see at least one of those.
right, there was
Um,
one.
right. But I
No, I
mean, the
mean,
investigation into him overall doesn't appear to have started that way, at least the way they painted the picture. So you never know. Was this all about them just going to gather dirt on the people mentioned in the
Yeah, because I mean, it looks like the way that the PCA like reads is that the whole thing came down on like something in the system triggered it on April 11th of 2024 that the OIG received a complaint from.
DCFS, though.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
So not like a person.
Alleging that their former employer or employee had done this.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, but again, like the impact on the case is what it is. It's like what people should be doing if they want to dig is like see how many stories came out in Allen County in their newspaper. Like go back over the weekend, see like if this was reported on their news stations, because that's where the potential jury pool is. You know what I mean? Like that's where you're concerned about. I mean, that's where you're concerned about it. At all. You know, I mean, like that's what you. Oh, good. I was worried, Ange. I was reading way up 20 minutes ago. So look, I mean, I just think that this is just another like and really at this point it
But as it
doesn't
stands right
doesn't
now,
have an impact on the
he
trial.
wasn't supposed
in
to
and
be
of itself.
called. Right. Unless they could, the possibility of the defense proving to the judge that there's enough there to let it on still exists. I mean, that's not outside of the realm of possibilities based on whatever additional investigation they do. But the way things stands right now, based on what the only things we know that the defense knows, and we don't know, including Bob and I don't know, and neither does the world know if the defense was holding anything back that they knew. It seems to me that they were putting everything out there, but I don't know. There's always something I hold back personally, but I just got the sense that they were throwing it all out there, but who knows? And
Yeah.
now I think Bob and I should powwow, decide if we're doing an evening live or not.
Yeah. I want to read this thing. But what it reminds me of, babe, is
mhm.
a certain motion that was filed by the state against you in a certain case wherein they allege that you were intimidating and harassing a witness, which of course disappeared off the face of the earth because it was spurious and just a complete lie and assassination
Right.
of your character. But it got out into the
And
news.
it sounded true.
It's not right. I mean, it sounded true, and it was complete and utter bullshit. And the motion just disappeared like under cover of darkness, never to be heard from again. I'm demanding apologies by Don Klein,
I
and it
was
never
promised an
happened.
apology too. Said they were going.
No, this is a different thing than the cuss. That was Vendetta Redwood. This is on the Garcia case when they filed a motion to have her removed from the case because they claim that she had intimidated.
Well, if you haven't listened to season 2
Oh,
of
what?
Defense Diaries,
You people still are not listening to the podcast?
well, then they would know.
I'm going to start quizzing people on the podcast. So, like, if you guys like, it's crazy to me that you're not listening to the traditional. I am working actively. I will have all of our episodes of our podcast, like the real podcast, on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna
2
do
weeks.
it. I'm gonna do it.
We're getting them all. Every episode. There's like 300 plus episodes. Like, you should really listen to the podcast. I mean it. It's really, really good.
Yes.
Wolfie, I've decided that I'm quitting Garcia. I'm going to leave you guys hanging forever. Sorry. Oh shit. No, Naomi's on 51. I better get
Better
cracking.
hurry up.
No, 62 is going to be out in the very, very short future.
It's never gonna end.
No, I've given it, I'm ending it. It's like, it's not going past like 67. I'm going to do trial's not going to take forever because I've given all of the information. Like in the preceding 61
There's still
episodes.
stuff I feel like you haven't covered yet, though. So, there's the whole hunting down of the lawyer who represented the Russian, but hopefully you'll get to that.
Oh, wait. Somebody sent me. Oh, Mag, Meg sent me a $20 Venmo for your time, your expertise, and your passion.
Susan.
Thank you, Meg. Susan. No, I like we're breaking that into seasons because that's going to be another.
We're gonna get back onto it.
We are definitely going to get back onto Steve Avery because part of what we want to do is we want to get boots on the ground. I want to try to interview some of the Avery clan once we get through the records. Like that's going to be a whole thing. You can't rush it. You can't rush. Like if you guys want me to finish it, then Alice and I will go read a Wikipedia thing and then we'll put it on a podcast and we'll push it out like 90% of the other podcasts do. We're like, you know how we try to do. You can't rush us. Like we have to read through everything. It's a lot. So, but we promise we are definitely not done. We're breaking into the seasons, probably somewhere between 10 and 12 episodes per season.
Wikipedia.
I mean, a lot of people read Wikipedia and books and watch Dateline and Oxygen and then go to or they're using AI to completely come up with a script. So, all right.
So Bob and I
Allie and I are going
to
to go dig on this other thing. And see
we might be coming back with a hit piece. We might not. We'll see.
Stay tuned. We love you
tuned.
guys. All right.
Hot